small party of villagers from Nieder-Weisel set off for Australia, and they arrived in 1853, I think. They sent word back, and so more came, and over a period of 5 or 6 years, 350 people left the village for Australia. To do so was just a massive upheaval. First of all of the ships left from UK, so they had to find their way to UK in the first place. So that meant travelling by horse and cart, I suppose, to perhaps to Hamburg. I don't know whether there were trains in those days, but they had to first find their way across to UK, and then of course spend 3 or 4 months at sea. My great-grandfather didn't come from Nieder-Weisel. He came from a neighbouring village called Griedel. It's only about 5 kilometres away from Nieder-Weisel. My great-grandmother came from Nieder-Weisel. They came to Australia separately, met here and married here. She was only 16 and he was 28, I think. But they were happily married for until I think he died in his late 80s, and she survived him by a few years. My great-grandfather became naturalised in the 1890s, and he died not that long after. And when World War I started, there was a fair bit of anti-German sentiment in Victoria and throughout the rest of Australia. And my great-grandmother was very anxious that she should be thought of as Australian as well. And she kept writing letters to the immigration people saying, look, I'm walking down the street and people look at me and point and say, look at that German, but I don't want to be German, I want to be Australian. And they kept writing back and saying, but you are, by virtue of your husband's naturalisation, you're also Australian. But she just couldn't accept that, so she wrote letter after letter, but always got the same response. There's a very well-known family in Ballarat by the name of Haintz, H-E-I-N-Z. Johannes Haintz was a butcher. He came out from Nieder-Weisel, started life as a butcher, and he built up his business in Ballarat to become the largest meat exporting business in the Southern Hemisphere. It was a massive business, and he bought a beautiful home on the shores of Lake Wendouree at Ballarat, which he named Nieder-Weisel. It later became a hospital and is now in private hands. And another, Johannes Haintz, was successful, and he became the mayor of Ballarat, which was a fantastic achievement for someone who had little opportunity for education, who didn't speak the language, and here he was as the mayor of this large provincial city. And a relative, I can't remember his first name now, but another Haintz was a successful miner in Bendigo and became a successful businessman, and he became the mayor of Bendigo. So we had these two immigrants from this tiny village. They would have arrived here when they were 15 or 16, made a great life for themselves and finished up mayors of these two provincial cities. Now, because there were so many immigrants from this tiny village, there are obviously lots of descendants, and over the years I have done quite a lot of research on families who came from the village, and together with another descendant, a few years ago we arranged to erect in the village of Nieder-Weisel a monument to all those families who left there and came to the other side of the world. We feel as though we've honoured these people. I mean, what they gave up is just beyond my comprehension, and A, to come so far, and B, not speaking the language, and C, not knowing anything about British culture, it just blows my mind. And so I think we feel as though we owe it to them to have erected these monuments to their memory and to their achievements. Thank you.